protected, and that we're not going to be doing anything through eminent domain. And in speaking with other people at City Hall, I think that they recognize the importance of that. So I'm still there for you on this issue, and I'm going to be your advocate. I want you to know that. And we will continue to have a lot of talks about this as it goes forward, all right? To protect your rights, to protect the rights of private property owners, and to make sure that the community is well served. I don't know where else to go because you probably have questions. But I just want to thank you again for your support, your voted confidence, and I intend to live up to that. And if you see something happen and you don't like it, you know where to find me. 236-6677. Okay. We got a nice lady, Bonnie Pearson, who's going to be answering the phone. She's going to be managing the office and keeping my calendar. And again, it's going to be an open door. So if you want to get on that calendar, give us a call, and we'll get you on the calendar, all right? This is how government's supposed to work. I'm just your representative in the system. You know, your point person there at City Hall. And I am really looking forward to representing you. So thank you again for your support.
We have about 5 minutes to answer some questions then. And I'm going to be the first one.
Okay.
Questions through me.
Prerogative of the chair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there was an email circulating this morning, which maybe you saw, wherein I think it was a reply to an email you got, and suggesting that you were going to take 3 suggestions from various communities as far as what they want for their community. And I just want to reinforce what personally I want for Grantville is the removal of eminent domain from the redevelopment project plan. So, and the other thing in your comment, you said, keep in mind the city doesn't have a lot of money. Well, removing eminent domain doesn't cost a dime.
That's right.
So I think that's something that can be done. So then we'll open it up for questions.
And by the way, with regard to that, that was an email we sent out right after the election, because as part of our thank you to the community, and I posted it on our website right away. And I want to hear from all the community groups. I know that John Pilch, you're Navajo planners and all that, right? And I hope that your organization is going to send us your thoughts, because this is serious stuff. When we go into budget cutting, we need to make sure that we're responding to the needs of the community. So we've got to hear back from your organization, the Del Cerro folks, Tierra Santa Community Council, all of the organizations across the freeway, the College Area Community Council, all of them, Rolando, the Eastern area. We've got to hear back from the communities and find out what the priorities are, what the concerns are. Otherwise, I'm operating in a vacuum, and we could try dragging it out of you. But it's easier if you volunteer the ideas. So please, I hope everybody will respond. That's really important that we're communicating like that, okay?
Okay. Question over there? Right shirt?
Yeah, we live near a busy intersection, and we're constantly being disturbed by cars that pull up to the traffic light, and they've got these infernal boom boxes blaring away. They wake us up out of our sleep. They disturb us when we're trying to enjoy some peace and quiet. I appreciate that the budget is really the most important issue, but I think if we're going to call ourselves the world's finest city, that quality of life issues also rate. Back in the days of Mayor O'Connor, an ordinance was passed specifically addressing this, but there doesn't seem to be very much enforcement of it, and I was wondering what ideas you might have to try and make this a higher priority.
Well, why don't I take your name and number, and I will make sure that this will be a good first assignment for your field route.
All right.
To research and find that ordinance you were talking about, and then go hang out at your intersection.
Okay.
And we could take something that measures decibels, and we could start measuring noise, and start building a case.
Some of these,
that's what we can do.
Some of these car stereos, it's beyond the decibel. It actually registers on the Richter scale.
Oh yeah, it's moving. It's moving. That's right. And I understand that I will at least be on the Public Services and Safety Committee, because public safety is a big issue for me. And And I think that this, you know, when we start talking about whatever community policing we can do, the neighborhood watch stuff, whatever resources we can, you know, dredge up in the community to keep a record, then that's going to help. If we can bring a record in facts, you know, as they say, facts are stubborn things. So we can start doing that. But I need your information.
Certainly.
And I'll put your field rep in touch with you.
All right.
This next week. Okay?
Sounds great.
As they're all sort of, you know, I guess, you know, writing their wills, doing whatever they have to do to straighten up their affairs before we start on Monday. But they'll be in touch with you this next week. Okay?
Super.
And then there's one here and then Bobby.
Baker?
Yeah, I have three brief ones. The first one is possibly community suggestions, like you're saying, but you know, they had a huge push as far as water conservation, lots of money spent on the ads. A few of the city council members have reports of massive amounts of watering going on in their personal homes. But a suggestion where we might be able to put it on our website, you know, I saw 3 people painting 1 fire hydrant with you know, city tags on, and one guy standing there watching, probably for traffic safety. Might be a great thing to sub out to private. You know, how about you bid on it? And I'm sure they can use the appropriate paint. Which leads to my next suggestion: bidding out a lot more stuff. You know, makes people more efficient and opens up the nature of competition, which you've already mentioned. So I just wanted to encourage that. Anything that's available, privatizing and making it biddable, I think would be a great thing.
Or maybe you just have one guy go out and go to the fire hydrant.
That's an option.
I don't think it's that complicated.
And if there's a city required safety thing where you have to have somebody watch it because their traffic, well, the private guy's going to have to follow OSHA, but he can probably do it cheaper and maybe can just put a cone out.
And I know moving forward, there will be a lot of discussion about what stays within the city and what services will be provided by private contractors. It's got to be, I think, a very conscientious process, and you know, I've said it in the campaign, I'm not a big supporter of wholesale outsourcing. I think that ultimately it winds up costing us more money. And one of the big reasons why is you have to create a whole new bureaucracy to manage those contracts and regulate and enforce. And so you eat up a lot of the savings through enforcement. One of the problems right now with the privatizing is that we don't have the resources, the people, to go out and enforce contracts. And so the city has to come back and redo some of the projects that are done by private contractors, or we have cost overruns that aren't being regulated. Like that engineering contract that we were talking about today. You know, it's that they've already started working with this consultant and they haven't even got approval for the contract, and the contract is illegal. And this is the kind of culture that we're up against. And so if we build in efficiencies and get everybody on the same page, playing by the rules internally, I think we can save money, and I think we can get the job done for a whole lot less money. And I'd rather see that where we still have public accountability intact, and people doing the job who are more concerned about the taxpayer and how well the city does rather than their own business bottom line. You know what I'm saying? And so everybody doesn't agree with me. I know that. But what decisions that the votes I take will be based upon the facts and what I think is best for the taxpayers of the city. I promise you that. Okay?
Okay, Marty has
There's
time.
one guy painting a fire out.
Yeah.
Marty has time for one more question. Bob.
All right, you're going to make a very important vote for who's the head of the city council. It's going to be Ben Waso versus Donna Frog. Ben Waso was the man who seconded the motion where we attended so that we should get ripped off. The agreement to keep it between the city and the council. I will say no more about it.
Thank you.
The other thing is, I am in favor of saving money. Scrooge McDuck was my childhood hero. But it also turns out that with the redevelopment organizations getting their 80% cut, with the city of San Diego getting only 16% of the real estate tax, not 25% like Sacramento, you're going into virtually an impossible task, because as the value of the property goes up naturally, you don't get your cut. And therefore, though I think it's heroic to try to cut the cost, I do think you're going to have to do a long-term stand to to get back the money that has been taken away from us.